I'm a very good dancer. I loved Afrigo. I dance.
Hey. That's
During
nice.
my free time, I go out and change my mindset.
Many of you have probably seen, heard, or, come in contact with her.
One day the president said, okay, why don't you come and we work together? I was at Kololo. I was taken by one of the ladies. She's called Maria Mtagamba. She said, escort me. I said, I can't escort you to that man. Then she said, you will stay in the car. I didn't know what was happening.
Oh, yes.
So I went, I escorted her, I sat in a car.
Yes.
I was a member of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
When I stayed in the car, the policeman, I think the guard, said, no, but you people are not supposed to stay in the car. Come and sit in the tent. I said, no, I'm not part of those people. Let them sit there.
Me, I'll stay in
I'll stay in the car. The man said, no, but you are not allowed. Come and sit. When I sat, the president announced immediately, we have a new guest here. She's called Dr. Sarah Nkonge. She might not love us, but she wants development.
Yes.
And I'm happy that she has come to join us.
Yes.
That was that day.
Your friend was very...
President Museveni, Musajja Mugezi. Yeah.
Super Soul Sisters, yet another amazing episode. Every time I am here, I wish you all felt how I feel. And I'm glad my producer and the team get to give me the opportunity to be here for our Super Soul Sisters. My name is Roina Kajumba. Many of you have probably seen, heard, or, come in contact with her. And of course, I must say she's an amazing lady. Our interaction here has been amazing. And that's Honorable Sarah Nkonge Muwonge. So did you get any specific, in this case, gender-placed challenges that, because you're a woman,
yes,
you should not be doing this, you shouldn't be that, you shouldn't be that?
Yes.
You can share with us?
I have passed through many of them. They took me to FIDA as a woman, but it was my brothers-in-law. I don't mention the name, but he knows himself. They took me to human rights. They took me to, of course, the court for 2 years. They garnished my accounts. It was a very bad experience. And they took me to the police. They said she is stealing things which are not hers. These things belong to the children. She doesn't have any property there. And she's not even the legal wife.
Can you imagine?
It was a very sad incident.
For some reason, women are always attacked.
I grew so small. If you looked at me, I looked 98 years at that time.
All the stress.
All the stress. And then people started talking. Sirimu nga kalibubi kano.
Can you imagine?
Kalabeko nakakoze kaweddewo. You know, when you're a widow, it is not all that easy. Uganda is not friendly to the widows. But at the same time, even the male counterparts face the same things. I'm not saying I'm one-sided, and when we do Tabamirika, we try to balance because there is also a problem with some of the ladies around. So it is not easy to lose a someone. And if my husband, we had not sat and made proper arrangements to do articles of association, we would have had so many masqueraders and intruders in the family.
So it is very strange how it's easy for women to be attacked in certain areas that society considered sensitive and for the women. You know, things like marriages, losing a husband, how the marriage is working, how is she balancing work with her marriage. Like, these are things they never ask men. We've seen it, and I'm sorry I'm going to bring this in. I know with your history of being a politician, well, today I don't know if they're discussing the right things, but you're seeing the attacks currently. They are saying two women are fighting because the man. These are two powerful women, probably one more powerful than the other, but you're in an environment of work, politics, but you have grown men and women saying, those ones are fighting because the other one mentioned the other one's husband. How? How does this come in work, in politics, in growth? Then they will attack the woman, look at how she looks. Then they will attack, these are not things we do to men. Why are we as a society, and I would want to hear this from you as someone of more experience and maybe has seen these things over the years. For us, we think, oh, we know it all, we've seen, but we've not seen the worst, the dark part of these things. Why is it okay for society, even ourselves, the women, even the children that we're having now and the rest, and the men who sometimes claim we are here to protect the women, openly come out and objectify women, turn important discussions into matters of, it's like the woman will not survive if it is not an argument about about the home, about your marriage, about why are we seeing these things even when we're fighting?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Kajumba. The values have changed. The type of woman we had 20 years back is not the type of man we have now. And the type of man we had 20 years back during our time is not the type of man. Have you seen that marriages these days are no longer lasting? You get your daughter to get married. After 2 years, the marriage is no more. And when you come in, either they see you as a cake, somebody old-fashioned, or they have moved on. There's a lot of moral degeneration in this type of marriage. The women try because the mothers and the aunties talk about it. But we no longer have those aunties who used to gauge and regulate her daughter about marriage, because even the aunties are having challenges. Then the men, Bakoja, they are not the type. They talk about it, but they are not many anymore. You are a soul sister. It depends on the heart.
Yes.
2, the type of families we bring up, meet colleagues, then there is peer influence. You have brought up your child so well. Then she has a friend, a peer friend, who is brought up so badly. And so your child changes according to the environment. Some people get married because of spotlight. Let me get married. Mfumbiro wachire 2 hours. Msajono muvire. Then poverty. Owavu busose. Girls no longer, we call them Sente Diriwo. Sente Diriwo dino. Now, who wants to marry a poor man who cannot develop himself? So she finds she needs a better life. And of course, sugar daddies. I find a young man my age, but he cannot afford to look after me. Then comes in these big sugar daddies. He helps in, and then you find a sugar daddy with about 5 young ladies who he can afford to look after. And then if you force a child to stay into her marriage, then comes domestic violence. You find that but the type of man she has is the type who is...
But where are we failing in this case? Because we are having a type of men who, with any opportunity, will belittle and objectify a woman. You're in a working environment, for example. I have come to work, he's working. But he will probably not see me as at par, as colleagues. He is going to objectify me with everything that will make me a woman or less of a woman, and drag you down in your capabilities. Are we pushing for women empowerment? We're having amazing women like you, bringing them on air for young women and men to see But are we forgetting the boys, the men, who are now the men anyway? That you're saying an empowered woman like you, but which man is going to manage you or handle or accept that there is this kind of woman? Instead, what he will do is water you down. Where would have had marriages work while you're a working woman? The man says, but how? Even by earning better. Only that one is enough for things.
That is it.
Why have we left, what have we forgotten? Because for so long, like you said, in issues of land, you still focused a lot on the women. Because chances are high or higher, not that the men are not facing the same challenges, that if the husband is gone, the woman is going to face the biggest challenge of her life. They will consider there is no way. Even when you come up and say, but we did these things with my husband, they say, maybe she put 200,000, you know? But no way. Why are we seeing this? Yet we fought for so long. Even men being part of this movement.
Thank you very much. That's still a challenge. The fathers should be role models to their children. They have neglected their boys. And instead, they behave the way the boys should behave. One, you can find a fully grown-up man at an advanced age, but playing it like a boy.
The boy.
And then the child, the boy is neglected. Most of the time I think we are talking about girls, but we neglect the boys. It is these boys who make the marriage successful. Once a boy is passionate about his wife and knows his duties as a man, it is very easy to maintain his home. But the men of these days are very good at beating women. Eyo sign ya butitizi. Because they feel either there is a complex somewhere, the woman is working and she's getting some money at the job place, there is a man who loves my wife and all that. So they start that thing. And men have not been sensitized enough. They think in Uganda it's a polygamous society. And men keep on thinking that, yes, I'm supreme. But his supremacy is not well defined. Supreme in what? In beating your wife? Supreme in what? In not buying food at home because your wife is working? Supreme is what? Coming back at early in the morning back home and leaving your house in the... They have not defined the word supremacy. They don't know what the yardstick of supremacy is. A woman needs love. You might move up and down, but the love of your wife is what makes her home. Some men were asked one time, how many times have you ever said to your wife during your marriage that I love you? I think you have seen that term.
Yes.
So the person who was asking told the men, can you now give a message to your wives, each one of you, and tell them, I love you? The answers that came out of the women were very funny. Are you mad? Have you impregnated another woman now?
Because he has never said it.
Are you drunk? When are you ever going to stop taking injaga? Because he has never said it. Techimulimu, techamukuliramu, tayinza namugamba ko mukyala wo, I love you.
So the woman then says, how? Why?
So are the men
I'm told we are natural investigators.
And men doing the right thing as men. Bajaja fabedda, our old men. Wasuza otya mama. Oli bulungi. Wano nno wabadde wannuma ng'olabye wafunye kaviksi. Those words are no longer in the minds of men. But even the women, you know, they also get tired.
Yes, so yeah.
Some women no longer talk about it. And then they have only one bond, it's the children. But remember, the children you're bringing up are not seeing this trend. And they take it, they'll copy it, they'll paste it over their generation, and then they'll add on mother social media. And then they will make their own principles and go with that. The generation we are going to have is going to be a very dangerous generation.
It's very
Ate
scary.
abaana be tulina these days no more than what we know. One child, one of the students asked a teacher. The teacher was telling her, I think you're not supposed to do that. The lady told the male teacher, now, if a girl can challenge a teacher, those are the type of girls we are having after COVID.
No one had time to look after them, even when they were at home, even when the parents were at home.
No one had the time to look after them.
Wow.
They have grown more than the grown-ups.
Yes.
They know
the
more
social
than
media, the friends.
That mother. So, and when they come to school, they import what they did at home to the other students. So the senior ladies have to be...
I also saw a clip going around of young girls saying all sorts of things because they're going back home for holiday. You can imagine. Let's go back to you having worked with NFA and also still in your office at the time handling land issues.
Yes.
So you feel like you're stuck and you need growth. When you decide to leave this office, what was your plan B? What were you looking at doing, or what did you do next?
When I left that office, by the way, after my PhD, I came back. Then I went for politics.
You just decided? No one...
I just decided. I think I saw...
No pressure from anyone?
No pressure from anyone. I'm a politician. I have to
By
pursue
nature.
everything by nature. And I went for politics.
Yes.
I was not successful, but I felt I won. Politics in Uganda is a strategy.
Yes.
You don't have the strategy, you are gone. But of course, I got a very good percentage, and I'm still around.
Yes.
Whatever God will bring in me will be what I will do.
So when you failed, you said you decided, I'm not trying again.
I tried again. This was in 2021.
Yes.
Yes, I tried that.
So when you gave up
but,
the first...
But I went to the place where people are easily manipulated. You give somebody 1,000, the heart can sell, the soul can sell the vote.
Yeah.
But I'm still with them. I talk to them. When they have developmental projects, I know I understand because poverty is at the peak.
It's what is causing all of these problems. So with the first time you failed, what did you pick from, or what lessons did you pick from that process?
I didn't fail,
joining
by
politics.
the way.
Okay, like... yes.
I didn't use the best strategy.
So you learned.
I learned. But when I learned, and I used one of the strategies, it also did not work out because I wasn't on the NRM card. I was an independent.
Okay.
And that also retarded me. I didn't have where I was standing. I didn't have the space. But at the same time, I have the people.
Yes.
And these people are with me. But at the same time, my businesses were deteriorating. You know, when you go for politics, it's about money. This is money politics.
Yes.
And lip service. So I came back and started concentrating on my businesses.
So before you go in politics, you've already started a couple of businesses, like you
yes.
said, with your husband.
Yes.
You have a couple of
Yes.
schools. You also had your personal businesses. What are some of those, if you don't mind sharing?
I have schools as my businesses. I have a farm where I buried my husband.
Oh dear.
And I have, you know, there are some also small businesses like you work with Airtel as a franchise partner.
Oh yes.
This day-to-day business where you can get 10,000
Yes.
For airtime. You know, I also do those small businesses. One thing is, I can do every job you want me to do. I'm a multitasker. So when I work, Airtel, I'm a franchise partner. I get some little money, and that's pocket money for my children. If I don't have food at home, that's another thing. Then I plant trees because I was once a member of the National Forest Authority.
Yes.
I have a passion for trees. And I travel a lot. I'm a frequent traveler.
You're free spirit.
I'm a free woman. I love traveling.
Indeed. Now, a quick reminder as we continue now, a couple of things I have definitely learned. And I know so many times they tell us, learn to focus on one thing. Yes, like we said, there is no formula. Everyone has a journey they take. That's why we bring the different super soul sisters to tell their story. Now, she is a multitasker. She's do everything you throw at her, or whatever she wants to throw at herself at that point, she will do it. Now, if you're that type of person and you know you can pull it off and you can do it, go ahead and work hard at doing all those things that, you know. If along the way you feel you're not giving 100 in something, then you can take a decision from there. But quick reminder, we are Daughters exclusive here, Ginger Road, Spear House, former WBS building. Beautiful space. They give us time. They give us this amazing setup, as you can see,
really
so
amazing.
that it adds on to, and by the way, the setup, like she said, is like literature. When you tell a story, now we're telling a story with Daughters exclusive here. We're telling a story with a set. We're telling a story with our guests.
Yes.
So that at the end of the day, when we're not just talking about women and the success at them being not just women, but being human beings and being hardworking women, we're telling you this is the entire story. So now we've definitely learned a couple of things about Honorable Sarah. And of course, just as we learn who she is and understand who she is, we always assume we know people, yes? But just as we talk about these things, you figure that there's certain things she talks about that we've also always talked about in general, you know? And being that you're a sports lady as well, you engage actively in sports, and we've just talked about the issue of having no space because certain people who should take responsibility haven't. Now, in the sports world, if I could generalize it in sport, and many Ugandans have talked about it, some people have hinted about it, you know, on how sports has not generally been funded. For example, we do expect that in some way of space through the Ministry of Sports Education and, you know, that the sports be heavily, in this case, funded. And most times, the other day we had a lovely lady, Asimwe. She's disabled, but she plays badminton. She pointed out that just we're saying men's sports as well is not being funded, but they're having better opportunities because on how by nature men can be much more aggressive, or it is allowed for them to be much more aggressive to go out there and say, hey, we need funding from different people. But then we're having female sports ladies, whether in football or netball or all the other sports which I may not finish, badminton, what, have in some way, if this space of sport has been brought up, they have been left out. And on top of that, not just women, now we go to the people with disabilities. So it keeps getting thinner. Right? From there, it's thin and gets thinner and gets thinner and gets thinner. Now, the other day we were all celebrating the she cranes, you know. That clip went around for so many reasons. But someone will come and tell you, we went and played and won. That is when now we get recognized after we come back home. We have been struggling on our own. We do not have uniforms. We do not have sponsorship. We do not have sportswear or shoes, training, capable training. You have to look for your own passport, visa, everything to go and apply to participate in these games. Let's talk about that issue.
I've been a patron of the She Cranes, and let me talk on the experience of the She Cranes and the men netball team called The Rock.
The Rock, yes.
Yeah, the She Cranes started so badly when we were starting that sport. Government was not sponsoring.
Yes.
And they had to travel a journey of 5 days to go to Malawi in a bus to play netball and qualify for African Games. They had swollen legs, they had headaches, but they came out number 3. That is when the government started realizing that
That's all they
actually
exist.
there's a problem. They went with only 500,000 shillings. That was very bad. But then, when government started realizing that actually these girls are doing good work, to Singapore, they gave them some money. It was not enough. No money is ever enough. So my issue is government gives money, but it is not enough. And when it gives money, comes in governance issues. Money comes, but everybody on each level starts okumegulako. By the time the money reaches the real recipients, it is too little. So if government has to look into these things, they have to go back to the drawing board. How much money is released and how much money comes to the players. There are so many thieves in between. That is the problem. And so these federations, if they don't look at themselves, then they will milk the players.
Yes.
When I went to South Africa with the boys, we didn't have the money. Professor Badru Katerega gave us the tickets, and I sponsored myself as a team manager. We knew the government hadn't given us money, so we used our own money, only to discover that government had released 100 million for the boys. Where did that money go? The boys didn't get the pocket money. The boys didn't sleep well. Who took the money? So government is doing investigations, and those are governance issues.
Yes, so at all fronts, we have a girls group that wasn't given money. Yes, but because they strived and pushed on their own, they're like, oh, wait, I think we can. Then we have a boys group who was given money, but the money was squandered by someone.
And the government says they give money, but governance issues has hindered them.
Yes, like
who should they give money? Are people doing the right accountability? And then sports has to go on. There is a big problem, and I'm sure Parliament is on it.
A quick question, something that has come to mind. Some people might wonder, why is she asking this? Have you ever thought about, or have you had anyone ever say, sports and the Ministry of Education and Sports? And some people are saying, here's the problem. We are adding, for some people are saying, education in itself is going to take the bigger chunk, because education. But you're putting education and sports, because we are still considering sport as an extracurricular activity for schools. We're not looking at sport on its own standing, on how sport can also economically empower this country, on how sport can contribute in terms of livelihoods of the country. We are looking, are we still looking at it as curricular activities of schools, education and sports?
Well, it is no longer an extracurricular activity. It is now part of the school curriculum. Okay. But are we doing the right thing? Are we getting enough money to sponsor it? Now we have schools, it's Uganda Secondary School or whatever association, where schools have to participate as a must, and it is a program for the government. And from there, we get the national team, because those are the raw materials for the national team. The government is sponsoring it.
So are we focusing more on the part of, okay, it's part of the school curriculum?
Yeah, that is part.
And forgetting that after that, it should be professional, made a professional. People should turn them into careers at the end of the day.
Yeah, it should have been that. But are we doing it?
No.
We've stopped where we stopped.
Well, up now we are seeing parents who tell their children, but omupira ugenda kugasachi, you know, because they know omupira is going to end at schools, playing each other. There is a cup, I don't know, all schools around the country playing, and it ends there. They know that it's not going to go any further to be a professional sport.
After the school, you can join a club. We have university games. we have clubs, and people who want to go professional can be helped by our federations. We have about 52 federations in the National Council. Yes. Meludo is a federation.
Now that is news to me.
Yes.
I did not have this information.
Oba ne Dulu, and there is also this one, Kwepena.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we have federations. Yes, we have beach soccer, we have boats, and all that. So it's up to you to put yourself in a club, basketball, or whatever, hockey, athletics, whatever you want.
Then these clubs can engage the ministry.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have those clubs can be under a federation. We have the Netball Federation, we have the FUFA, Commonwealth Games, and all that. So you can put yourself in a club if you really are interested. Now there's even a course called sports science. Sports science has a lot to do, yes. You can go to saunas and do massage to people. You can do exercises, aerobics, and what have you. Sports has gone a long way. It's a matter of you investing in yourself and be a professional.
I think so many of our young people are doing that.
We are having so many of our professions leaving the country. The Shikrens, many have left this country to go for greener pastures and professionalism.
Exactly. Imagine if we could.
Because it's a better world.
No, but that's the thing.
What is
our
life after
sports
sports?
People being paid for representing our country.
And when you grow
well.
yes, it's not a full-time thing. When you grow old and you're a good sports person, even if you have, for example, if I talk about Peace Proscovia, one of the best netballers, even if you had played for Uganda and got medals, the moment you grow old, you are gone.
So there's need for sustainability.
Sustainability.
There's
What is life after sports in Uganda? You have played for a World Cup. You have brought medals for Uganda. Then you come back a lame person and nobody looks after you. Wachirizireyo ku nkoko ze nasooka okutunda. Nze kuba nasookera ku nkoko, then I bought a Vaxwogen. That is better than getting a broken leg and you are no longer in the limelight. Nobody ever knows about you. The Alice Shikrens are crying. Some of them are not waiting for that situation. They have run away.
Now, real quickly, because this is something that many people, as being women and discussing this, they'll say cliche. I say, why? You know, some people say, of course. But there's nothing wrong with that. Today we have men doing pageants also. In fact, one would question, the other day someone was saying that women dress a certain way or you know, expose themselves a certain way when they involve themselves in things like pageants. And pageants are under the same docket we're talking about here. But you know, you've seen the Mr. What are they called? Mr. Kampala, Mr. What? I don't know.
Bagorola style, kickboxing.
Yes. And these men wear tiny little, I don't know if they're leotards or what, but you know, and there's nothing left to hide. But for some reason, you people are going to say this. No one is talking about these men. For some reason, it's okay. But when we see our young girls wearing swimwear and walking down the pageant stages, that, oh my goodness, what has happened? This is a shame. Let us be ashamed, all of us, eh? These people have also been left out, like I mentioned. It is, actually, if I'm being honest, these Mr. Kampalas have better platforms, more talk about them, more exposure and marketing for them than you hear about this pageant. Yes, than these pageants where we're looking for brilliant minds to represent, even if it's tourism, forestry. That is why there's a section, and you know this, where they ask questions about your country. It's almost like they're in a debate for who is the better politician or who is the better, who would do a better job if assigned this kind of job. You've seen this. It's beyond just beauty. I think that's where people get it wrong. Why are we leaving some of these things out? And they have so much potential. The sport, and they're all under the same because it's contesting.
Kati buli muntu afuba kwebereramu. People are looking for jobs that they think maybe I will be able to pass and become an important person. When you bring in a person to represent you, especially this Minister of Tourism. You bring in these pageants. You should have a long-term plan for them. But most of the time, these people are just looked on as job seekers. And when the thing ends, that is the end of it. No life after that. Then another one comes and another. Each one comes with his own policy. Without accomplishing the first policy, there is already a policy that is coming on. We have not conceptualized this one on land, another one is coming on. And we have not finished what was the objective of the pageancy. What did
Because they're like representatives, they're like PRs for the country.
Yes. These are ambassadors. Have you made them ambassadors? Have you employed them? So it's up to the Minister of Tourism to make the best means and the best way to handle such people who they bring in. Miss Uganda, where is she? Where are those ladies? They disappeared
long-term plan.
Long-term plan. We are always short-term plan. Kabanda beko wano, ekyo nkimaze. That program is over. Fragmented programs that are not moving. What about these old sportsmen and women? That is why I like the way Peace Proscovia, I usually talk about netball. She has started an association for former, because she's also growing. She's getting married, she's getting children. But you must remain relevant, as I've already told you. So they're making an association for the old players to see how they can be helped. So the government should have make a tracer study of the people who have been very good in different fields, and probably make, however little it can be, and make a contribution.
And also encourage more younger
talents. Other young talents to ve mu njaga. Otherwise, kati abana banywa njaga.
Today we are having a problem because of that. But they will tell you, you must be a doctor. Then you've made it in life. You must be a lawyer. You know, these about 4 that were originally brought to us as this is a profession. Without that, then so if we did what you're talking about, then maybe we can have so much talent. The entertainers, the sociologists, everyone comes and plays their role. Even the doctor, to be one, is actually talented in that area to do it. So as we wind up, I'm sorry, I also talk too much. By
no, it's okay, Mami. I like it.
What drives you?
I never give up. That's the motto. I said I studied from Gayaza High School. I don't want any situation to beat me, to overcome me. I never give up. There was a time revenue was coming to arrest me because of the taxes. I fought my way and reasoned them.
That is around the same time?
So many times. Revenue comes,
and
we
they also
have problems.
Use the advantage of people not having information or knowing their rights.
Yes. I never give up. I never give up. And I keep on, you know, my failures are my successes. I fail here, I try hard, and next time I find that strategy, I manage to maneuver the situation. There is no situation that is so strong for me which I can't manage. And I encourage the young ladies like you. Keep it up. Don't give up, it's not the end of the world. You will have so many challenges, but it is the way. These challenges come in the morning, but in the day and in the morning, they are over. It gives you better lessons.
Makes you stronger.
It's what makes you strong. And 2, I'll never give up my life. I will always remain senile until God invites me in the grave.
Indeed.
I will stay
keep
young,
up with what the world brings.
Focused, principled, happy, and an influence, a leader to others.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, thank you so much. I must say I have enjoyed myself. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know about the viewers there, but I know you guys are enjoying with us here. And of course, Honorable Sarah Nkonge Muwonge, and she's a doctor. not
Yes.
doctor of...
in fact,
doctor, PhD
I like
holder.
City Alos in the boss.
That is...
That
what's his
song
name?
keeps me going.
That is... What's
City
Eddie
Alos.
Kenzo? Yes.
Eddie Kenzo.
Yes.
The City Alos in the boss. The City Alos. The City Alos in the boss. The City Alos. That song.
I have heard her voice. Oh my goodness. I can imagine.
The City Alos. The City Alos in the boss. The City Alos. The City Alos in the boss. The City Alos.
And I must say, it is a mindset issue. It is a mindset issue. Thank you. She knows she's a boss, and she does not fear loss. So if you have talent, if you have something you're drawn to, do not give up. Keyword: do not give up. Now, what you proclaim is what she has just done. Is what you become. She has said, "This is the boss, City Alos." So once you wake up and say, every time you're miserable, for me, that means you won't even have the energy
to do something
or
else.
Motivation to go out there and do something. Thank you so much for your
Nanga,
time.
I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. Actually, this is about the first time you have hunted me out.
Yes.
UBC, I just enjoy their programs, but I've never had a chance to talk in the open like this one about my soul, because the most important thing of this program is the soul.
Is the soul.
The real Sarah, the real me is now with UBC.
And thank you. We are honored to also have been, my producer, I kept saying, I am going to get her.
Thank you very much. She has been looking for me.
She has been crying.
But UBC,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As Super Soul Sister, honorable, and I will add doctor, yes? PhD, not doctor in the theater, yes? Sarah Nkonge Muwonge, and she has given us time. She has taken us through her journey. And I will remind you again, the journeys are never the same. However, there's always a common factor that we're bringing these women, these special women, to tell you, I've been through this journey, but I managed to maneuver and succeed. And here I am telling you my story, okay? For the young men and women out there, we thank you so much for being here with us. It's been an amazing couple of months. In fact, it's over a year. You guys watching Super Soul Sisters, you are the reason this is happening. We do appreciate you. Now, from us, from me, Rowena Kajuma, and the entire team, I must say that, like she said, you can never do it by yourself. That's why she's a people person. That's why it's good social capital, people. Now, here we're a team. Everyone, what you're seeing here is not just me, it's a team. And I'm saying this because these are words I think we should all take home.
Watch UBC, see the programs, make it an opportunity to invest in yourself once again and get more social capital. And a happy new year.
Thank you so much. Now, of course, from me and the team, good night.
Thank you very much.